And just under a couple years from now, physical media is going to most likely be going away. We'll be in an old digital future, all thanks to an announcement from Sony, which me and a lot of people are not really too happy about that. And you know what I have to say about that?
You.
Yeah. In all seriousness, this is not another video talking about how physical media is dying, and instead I am going to be embracing my love for physical media and share you guys my PlayStation 2 collection. The PlayStation 2 is my all-time favorite console. I have my entire collection all right behind me as I am fondling it right now like a weirdo. Yeah. As voted by you guys really wanted to see my PlayStation 2 collection. I was tossing around the idea of doing a collection video, either for PlayStation 2, PS4, or PS5. If you guys don't know, I am a big PlayStation fanboy. I've been a fan of the PlayStation family of consoles ever since I was very young and had my very first PlayStation 1. And although I do feel a bit betrayed by modern-day Sony with their decision to cease all physical media production come January 2028, I'm still going to be collecting PlayStation, but I'm going to be more focused on retro. Primarily PlayStation 2, since it is my favorite console, and I am discovering new PlayStation games, playing a whole bunch of new ones that I've never even played before, and I just absolutely love it. I cannot wait to dive into my collection and share with you guys some games that I have, including a couple of recent pickups that were primarily PlayStation 2 focused. So this is going to be kind of like a side thing to the whole retro rebuild, where that is where I'm focusing on rebuilding my dream game collection and collecting for all sorts of different consoles. But I want to do some deep dives into some of those consoles that I collect for, starting off with the PlayStation 2. So that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and let's dive into my PlayStation 2 collection. Starting off with my PS2 collection here, I got a bunch of disc-only games to show off first, starting with 13. This is a recent acquisition that I got from my local game store. This is a bit of an underrated gem. It's a first-person shooter with a very unique comic book style art style to it, as well as like the cutscenes are all kind of played off like it's a part of a comic book series. Really fun first-person shooter. I played it quite a bit ago, and I probably made it like halfway through the campaign. Got Breath of Fire Dragon Quarter, which is like infamously known as one of the worst Breath of Fire games, and along with Breath of Fire 6, it kind of killed off the series. But I kind of like the art style for Dragon Quarter. I like the kind of pseudo sci-fi world setting that it's in. I know the gameplay mechanics are not the greatest, but I do want to give it a proper playthrough. I played it like 5 or so years ago, and I didn't really get too far into it. Then we have Yanya Kabbalista City Skater. Then we have, this is a 2-disc game, Onimusha Dawn of Dreams, which this is a action RPG compared to the original trilogy, which was more like Resident Evil set in ancient Japan. And it had the fixed camera angles, the tank controls, but it played like a hack and slash, but with those in there. And then we got this one, which is a action RPG. You have party members, you level up, you have a skill tree, You have all sorts of different other things that make it play more like an RPG. And I'm absolutely loving this game. I'm about 6 hours into it. It's not that long. You could probably beat it in under 20 hours. But the game is expansive. Well, not expansive, but the game has these like very cinematic cutscenes, and it's overall a pretty big game. Not in terms of length, but in terms of what was put into it, the time and love and all that. And that's why it's considered a 2-disc game. At least that's based off of what I read into it, because I was kind of curious as to why the game is short, but is on 2 discs. Then we got Artinoco Melody of Alemia, another 2-disc game here. Sakura War So Long My Love, and that's because you got an English dub on one game disc and the Japanese dub on the other. And then got all of my other games like Taiko Drum Master, which this is a really fun rhythm game. I first played a Taiko no Tatsujin, which that is what the whole name of the series is. It started with Taiko Drum Master here on PlayStation 2. I played one on the Nintendo Switch about 3 or 4 years ago. Really enjoyed that. Found out that you don't really need the Taiko drums in order to play these games, but if you are going to play with a regular controller setup, it is highly recommended to just play with on the lower difficulty, so that way you're not destroying your hands by button mashing. But one of these days, I would love to get my hands on that drum controller for this game, and even possibly live stream it. Got Need for Speed Carbon, which I recently got this game in the mail. A good friend of mine is getting into the Need for Speed games, and I haven't played Need for Speed Carbon in almost 20 years. So really happy to have this back in my collection. Huge shout out to a fellow YouTuber named Sharkpig. He introduced me to the Tokyo Extreme Racer series, and I got Tokyo Extreme Racer Zero here on the PlayStation 2, which I'd never even heard of this game before. I was familiar with the series thanks to Sharkpig, but I'm really happy to have this game. I did play it for a couple hours, and I could see myself really getting hooked on that game. Next up, got the only import in my collection. Currently, I used to have a whole bunch of other Japanese imports, and I might get back into collecting imports, because you can get some really great games for dirt cheap if they're the Japanese version. This is Gun Parade Orchestra. Got another underrated gem here, Sub Rebellion. And then two of my favorite Hideo Kojima Konami masterpiece games, Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty and Zone of the Enders Second Runner. Now we dive into a whole bunch of RPGs, starting off with the Suikoden games on the PlayStation 2, with Suikoden 3, 4, and 5. All of these are CIB in really great condition that I got from my local game store, Next Level Games. Then we got Shining Force EXA, or Shining Force EXA, however you want to pronounce that, where I was first introduced to this game via Project Crossroad on the Nintendo 3DS. Then we got the very first action RPG I ever played, and that is Star Ocean Till the End of Time. A game that I will defend no matter how many times it takes until people realize that this game is not as bad as they believe it to be, and that is Dirge Server's Final Fantasy VII. This is a third-person shooter hybrid with like some action RPG elements in it. There are the RPG mechanics, but it's a hybrid with a third-person shooter yes, it does start off with the gameplay being a bit slow, but once you level up and you start customizing Vincent Valentine's weapons and materia and all that, the game gets a lot better. The story is not really that great, but I ended up really liking this for the gameplay more than the story. Also, the fact that you get to play as Vincent Valentine, who's one of my all-time favorite Final Fantasy characters. And I do hope that we do get a remake tied in with Final Fantasy VII Revelation, which is coming out next year. We will probably know if that will ever happen, probably sometime next year. Then we got Artanoto 2 Melody of Metafalica. This is one of my all-time favorites on the PlayStation 2. I do have the Premium Edition, which comes with an art book, a soundtrack inside of the bid box. Now, NIS America put out quite a few of their games. They published quite a few PS2 games that came with a Premium Edition that had an art book, soundtrack, and maybe some other goodies like a map or something. And both the Artanoto games as well as both of the Monokemia games were some of those games that they put out, and I'm happy to have the Premium Edition for Artanoto 2. I did have at one point have the Premium Edition for the first Artanoto game, but I currently own that game disc only. Got Jade Cocoon 2 here. The very first Tales game I ever played, Tales of Legendia. One of my holy grails here, and that is Wild Arms 5, which unfortunately I do not have the manual for. I would love to have the manual for it someday, so that way I can have the CIB. This is another game that came in a bit box. It was the 10th anniversary for the Wild Arms series. It came with an art book for the entire series. Got some other RPGs here. Final Fantasy 12, as well as Atelier Iris 3 Grand Phantasm, and Phantom Brave, which there's a different variant for Phantom Brave that comes with a CD soundtrack. I just have the standard variant here. The one that has the soundtrack is a little bit more valuable. Then, got Kingdom Hearts 2, one of my favorites here. Rogue Galaxy. Xenosaga Episode 3, which is currently the most valuable game in my entire video game collection. I will not give up this game, even if the world is crumbling, and giving this up would be the only way for me to be able to save myself. I will not give it up. This game is absolutely fantastic. It is tied with Tales of the Abyss here to be my all-time favorite games of all time. Yes, I just repeated that. That is how much I love them. They are absolutely amazing. And the last few games that I have here to show off: Dot Hat GU Volume 3 Redemption, La Pucelle Tactics, and one of the best Square Enix Tri-Ace games to ever be made. Ending it off on a high note here, and that is Radiata Stories. This game, oh my word, absolutely freaking fantastic. And those are all of my PlayStation 2 games overall, if I give myself a good count. Oh wait, actually, I forgot, I have had a small stack right here. So it is not the end of it. Got Front Mission 4, Wild Arms 3, an absolute staple in any PlayStation 2 collection, Final Fantasy X, Art the Lad End of Darkness, Evergrace, and now ending it off with Phantasy Star Universe. Overall, I have about, and count here, 9, 13. Well, let's just say I have almost 30 PS2 games. Now, I used to have a whole lot more. I was trying to go for like the full RPG lineup on the PlayStation 2, and as well as some other games that were not RPGs. So I had like almost over 100 PS2 games, and there are so many other games out there that I would wish I still had in my collection. But this is where my collection stands as of right now. And I'm pretty happy with what I got. And I'm still collecting for the PlayStation 2. I will always collect for the PlayStation 2 until I reach my dream collection for, my dream amount for PlayStation 2, which who knows when that'll be. That is it for my PlayStation 2 collection. I really hope you guys enjoyed seeing the games that I have here, and someday I will get the stack of Loose Game completed with their case, artwork, and hopefully manuals, so then I won't have a stack of Loose Games. But I don't mind buying Loose Games. It means that I'm paying less, or basically I'm paying less in order to play these great games, and I'm happy to have them in my collection regardless of them being complete or not. So that is going to be it for this video. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.